Conservation and Biodiversity highlighted that hunting is in fact an uncut diamond. It's a valuable service to nature as well as society. So I am being joined at this moment by Btvnews reporter Otshidile Onkabetse, who sat there through it all and reported to us as it was unfolding. She's joining us via Skype. Sidia, very good morning to you. Thank you for joining us this morning. And as the conference concluded yesterday, maybe let's start off with the highlight for us as Botswana. How was Botswana's decision received, the decision to rejoin the CIC?
Morning, One. Botswana's decision to, her announcement made by the Minister of Environment and Tourism, Mr. Dimzeni Tumkulu, before a very large audience of participating, member states, was well received, like with a heavy applause. I'm sure you saw even the pictures in the package story, but there was a heavy applause that lasted for even a good 5 minutes. Everybody, stood up and gave a very heavy applause. Obviously, significant of what this really means, not just for Botswana, but also for the CIC. Botswana also really has a lot to contribute, given the fact that, her story, her biodiversification and wildlife conservation story is renowned globally. And of course, given the statistics, there's a lot that many countries can learn from Botswana. And of course, this was, reiterated by one of the professors in biology that we spoke to on the sidelines of this conference. He mentioned the fact that Europe as a whole can learn a lot from countries like Botswana. And obviously, Europe should not even have any grounds to dictate to countries like Botswana on how to manage their wildlife populations. So it was really well received. Even the CIC president also mentioned the fact that, it is a very good move in the right direction to have Botswana rejoin the CIC, having been an initial member of the CIC, and of course, had taken that decision much earlier in the years to opt out. But that this, moving forward in terms of, aligning with what the Sustainable Development Goals are, Botswana, has postured herself well by joining the CIC, not just for her contribution, but also for the level of support. When you look at the structure of the CIC, it comprises, 85 member states, and these are over 1,600 stakeholders from different levels of expertise, whether it's researchers, whether it's partners, whether it's NGOs. So there's a lot of expertise, going around. There's a lot of influence. There's a lot of power to negotiate, to inform policies, to share experience, knowledge, and understanding on issues around wildlife. So this is very important for countries like Botswana, not only to make headway in terms of her prioritizations, or her priorities, but also to contribute to, the direction in which the world is moving in light of Sustainable Development Goals and biodiversity. Also in line with the fact that, it was mentioned that bridges to biodiversity are very critical in light of what the world is facing in terms of the global crises. So this rejoining on the part of Botswana is very much opportune on it.
And I do note that you mentioned there that the composition of the CIC is heavy with the experts in the area of game and wildlife conservation and all the other fields supporting and surrounding that. So I would want to find out from what it is that you're finding out there then, what is the CIC's position on this big elephant that we're sitting with in the room here in Botswana and other Southern African countries about the impending anti-trophy, hunting trophy bill? What is the position of the organization? Did you make any deciphering from there?
Right. So during his opening remarks at the official opening of the CIC conference, the CIC president, Dr. Hama, was very unwavering. Obviously, he represents what the CIC stands for, representing the whole body, representing even, all the participating countries. He said in his words verbatim, obviously just going into what hunting is about, which is about trophy hunting. His words verbatim were, hunters care and hunters render a great service to nature and society.
Yeah.
So, by virtue of saying that, he mentioned that hunting is something that should be used. It's a mechanism, it's a tool that should be used to drive what biodiversity is and to drive even the protection of ecosystems.
Yeah.
So in light of that, he actually said, in his words, he mentioned the fact that trophy hunting, because it is regulated hunting, he is pro-hunting. The CIC is pro-hunting. The CIC is pro what Botswana stands for in terms of her trophy hunting stance.
Yeah.
And obviously now, this basically says hunting is a good thing. But for the longest time, they also mentioned, for the longest time, because hunting in several countries and, done by very many people was misunderstood because of the way that it was structured, because of the way that it was done. And hence, that's why even the Western media is carrying the narrative that hunting is an evil, in a sense. But he's basically saying, there needs to be a reconciliation, even with societies and communities, to try to sell this narrative that hunting is actually a good thing, not just for the development of communities, but also even for the sustainability of ecosystems. Because if animals continue to grow, if the numbers of elephant populations, if the number of wildlife populations continue to grow, and nature cannot take care of that, and there's mismanagement of practices and if hunting is not even affected to the degree that it should be, then this is going to lead to the degradation of even these wildlife species that you're trying to protect. So he's basically saying hunting is whatever a necessary evil, if you may. So basically saying that they support Botswana fully in terms of her position to say trophy hunting should not be banned by Western countries. And the narrative still stands. There's a lot of misinformation on the international platform regarding what hunting is. So he talked about these misconceptions, and I love the words that they use. They mentioned that hunting is an untapped diamond. What can be, when you describe something as an untapped diamond, you're talking about it in a raw sense, and obviously it can be, cleaned up and made perfect, right? So these misconceptions can be obviously tweaked out, removed, and then you can really see the very essence of what hunting is about. So hunting is a good thing according to the CIC. The CIC is fully behind Botswana, and the CIC also, holds the narrative that Botswana should make her voice very loud and clear in terms of promoting what she stands for, because she's backed up by policies. She's backed up by even her conservation story. That alone positions her to be able to have a solid voice and to make it very loud and clear. So the CIC is very much in support of Botswana, very much in support of trophy hunting, because it is a necessary part of what the natural, of what sustainability should look like in light of using nature and protecting ecosystems.
Using nature to protect nature, actually. So, Sidi, in wrapping up the 4-day meeting there, let's maybe take a recap of what were perhaps resolutions, activities, or any initiatives that came out of there that are going to be embarked on next, in wrapping up.
Right. The CIC as a whole is an advocacy body on several issues. Whether you look at wildlife populations, whether you look at so many other aspects of sustainability. So the other main issues that, obviously were given center stage was the issue of the triple planetary crises. And of course, we're talking about biodiversification loss, we're talking about pollution, we're talking about climate change. These are three aspects that global communities are grappling with, and global communities have asserted that there needs to be even more actionable steps taken towards, attending to these. So the CIC also, in a sense, called on for member states to be very proactive in terms of attending to issues of climate change, attending to issues of pollution, and attending to issues of biodiversification loss. And the aspect of biodiversification loss was also given center stage in terms of the issues of the hunting ban, the issue of human-wildlife conflicts, and to say we need to protect biodiversity, we need to take care of the environment, we need to take care of animals, we need animal populations, we need to take care of even plant life, in order to ensure that there is no biodiversification loss, because obviously that will be to the detriment of humankind as a whole. So issues of pollution and climate change also, were very critical to the various conversations that, the CIC had during the past days to bring on the collective approaches of all member states to say these issues really need to be implemented at domestic level, at regional level, and also at the high level of at the international level. And one other thing on it, I really must note this. The minister, Mr. Btvnews, at the official closure at the gala dinner on Saturday evening, mentioned something that was very important. He mentioned the level of, right now Botswana has, in a sense, the world's eyes are on Botswana. He mentioned a very interesting aspect to this, to say, when you go on, whether it's social media or just on the internet, what you see, if you were to search the three names, rather the three words, if you were to search the name Masisi, if you were to search the name wildlife, and you were to search the word Botswana, these words have gained over 1 billion hits. So Botswana is, in a sense, famous across the world, for good reasons, of course. So he basically said this basically just means that the world would get a better understanding of Botswana's conservation story, and obviously this will help to demystify even the misinformation that is out there about what Botswana stands for in terms of trophy hunting, what Botswana stands for in terms of wanting to protect nature and prioritizing that aspect of protecting nature, loving animals, and also loving her own people. So in a sense, we have instruments in place that cover all of that. Botswana, through the minister and President Dr. Mokgweetsi Masisi, have been very vocal about the fact that Botswana loves her animals. Botswana even loves her people even more. So the type of instruments and policies that are implemented are geared towards protecting Botswana's 2.4 million plus population from any type of danger, even wildlife conflict challenges, as well as protecting animal life. Contrary to what the world is saying, Westerners are there is an implication that or rather an assertion, a misconception that Botswana doesn't love her animals, which is very, very far from true. So I think that CIC and Botswana and through the past few days, this conversation has really been given some type of elevation to say really Botswana has taken a very solid position, and a lot of the world is, in very much support of Botswana, what Botswana stands for. Well,
I need to cut in there, Tshidi, and unfortunately that's because of the time. Our time here is up. Thank you so much for sharing and wrapping up with the proceedings and the outcome of that 4-day summit. Thank you, Tshidi. Have a good day.
yes.
All right, BTV journalist Onkabetse over in Cascais, Portugal, who was reporting on that 4-day conference of Game and Wildlife Conservation Committee.